So hello, I'm Tom Bird. I'm Head of Insight for B2B at BT. So I just wanted to put a quick face to the name and also the voice. So that's me on the right-hand side there. I've been in customer insight now for quite a few years. Hopefully my photo doesn't make it look quite so obvious. I've previously worked at various different telecoms providers. I've always been in telecoms. I've worked at Samsung, Operator 3, and also BlackBerry. And might I add, I was at BlackBerry when they were the #1 provider of smartphones globally. One of the best parts of my role actually is leading an amazing team, and my team is in BT to understand our customers and understand their needs and make sure that everything that BT does that's going to align to the customer is also aligned to our customer needs. So part of what I do is aligning those needs to our strategies. Our strategies then get built into propositions. From there, our propositions are taken to market, and I need to make sure that anything that we're saying is aligned to the needs that we'd identified, but also targeted at the right customer base. From there, we work with our sales colleagues to make sure that they understand the needs of our customers. And all of this is to help us to be better customer champions. I work with all parts of the BT organization, from the very top, our CEO, and you can see a picture of him. He's the gentleman with the white hair there, and all the way down to the teams that are on the ground who deal with our customers every single day. Mentioned our CEO, and he'll tell you that a big part of his job is actually explaining what it is that BT Enterprise does. You might know a bit about BT, and you will have certainly heard about BT, more than likely because of your relationship with BT as a consumer brand. But we're also a huge provider of connectivity to UK business. As you can see, we're a big company. We contribute almost a third of BT's revenue and a similar percentage of profit. But actually what you can see there is that we're a large contributor of free cash flow to BT. It's one of the reasons we're such an important part of the BT organization, because the revenue that we generate goes towards investing in other more important areas, such as fiber to the premises rollout and 5G. We serve a huge number of customers, and in doing that, we have a large number of employees, all under the BT Enterprise banner. You'll know us because of our network. You'll know us because of our brand, but also we span the complete length and breadth of the country with the products that we do. So I wanted to give you a little bit more of a sense of our customers as well, because they're extremely diverse, and also a sense of just where BT Enterprises come from. So we're actually essentially a collection of smaller parts of BT brought together in 2018. And in the past, BT was loosely split around the areas that you see here. So we serve the smallest of small businesses, so the people working at home in small and home offices, to the coffee shops, the barbers, the plumbers, really the lifeblood of the company, of the country, I should say. Serving our small business. In contrast to that, we also service and have customers in the biggest of private sector. So that those big 3,000 plus organizations that most of us will know about, from the brands that exist out there. But we're also a big provider in the public sector as well. So one of which most recently was connecting London's temporary Nightingale Hospital and working with the NHS to get the connectivity to that site. But it's not just, the biggest parts of the public sector. It's also the doctors' surgeries, all the way up to the largest councils in the country. And then on that third column there, we also are a wholesaler, so we provide connectivity to other providers out there, who then resell it to their customers. And lastly, we part of BT Enterprise is about incubating future growth areas for BT. So all of these businesses have been brought together under the enterprise banner, and part of the challenge that with doing that is that we want to make sure that the customer was at the heart of everything we do, and then structure our organization accordingly. So the next slide really illustrates the challenge that BT Enterprise faces. We're an extremely complex organization, as you've just seen, with multiple different customer groupings there. But because of the way that we've a collection of legacy businesses brought together under the one banner, it's clear that we've had some challenges with the way we do things. So, multiple technology stacks, no real consistent understanding of the customer, meaning that often customers would slip through the cracks, and it was clear that was something we'd need to rectify. So our goal was really clear: structure the business around customer needs, and deliver a better experience for our customers in doing so, but also win more business. So after lots of consolidation from all those legacy businesses, we really needed to hit the reset button, and Insight was really put into the heart of how we do that. So the exam question that we faced was really simple: understand our customer needs and structure our organization around those needs. But in order to do that, we wanted to make sure that we'd considered all of the inputs that were there. And there's really two groupings that we felt that we should consider. One is the external view. So statistics from the Office of National Statistics, so government data, is really a treasure trove of information, and it's a really good starting point for any research project that you're looking to size the UK business sector. And the ONS looks at UK business by company size, by industry vertical, by region. They've really split the data in many different ways, and that's something that we used as a kind of primary input for how we'd look to structure BT. It's a really real important consideration. And then also we wanted to make sure that we were looking at our competitors. We are in a highly competitive space, and so it was very prudent to gather how are our competitors structuring themselves, how are they servicing their customer base, is there anything we can learn from our competitors about how they're doing things. We also wanted to look at external data providers as well. So we subscribe to various different third-party data sources, and they have a view of the world. By aligning to some of the ways that they've structured the UK business market, that will allow us to track back our performance and align closely to the way that they're delivering their data. Pretty important actually when you think about market share and everything that is derived from that. But there was also internal views that we needed to look at. The real goal here was reset the attitude. We've always done it this way, so it must be the right way. But there's also some merit in that as well. So why did we structure in the way that we did in the past? Why have we had a separate treatment of public and private sector? Is vertical something that we should be considering? Is company size the determinant of needs? So all of these things were considered and almost like inputs for the plan that we were going to bring together. So what we were looking to do was deliver a simple solution that allowed us to structure ourselves around customer needs. So what was the problem that we were really solving for here? So first of all, to understand that, we wanted to make sure that we'd taken stakeholders on the journey. So we wanted to gather up their inputs, which meant asking them their hypotheses. And part of this is as well is whilst you want to make sure that you're solving for the right thing, you're answering the right questions for your stakeholders at the start of any project. There's also here is a lot about hearts and minds here. So you want to take people on this journey with you, and you want to involve them from the very start and keep that involvement going throughout the process, so there aren't any surprises. You're getting a really strong steer from them, and you're not just doing the big reveal at the end of a exhaustive project, only to find out that you're not meeting their needs, and that was so really important for us. We also knew that we needed to do a gap analysis. So BT Enterprise have done various different studies on customer needs, and so we could already answer a great deal of the questions without actually going out and doing any data gathering from our customer base and our potential customer base. But equally, we wanted to understand, what do we need to refresh, what do we already know, and then so in doing that, we contacted one of our research partners, which is Basis in this instance, and we went out and we did our biggest ever quantitative study, because as I outlined, the market is so diverse from small business all the way up to big business and public sector. We wanted to make sure that we had a really robust sample size, and for us this was the biggest B2B quantitative study that we've ever done. We boosted it with an internal sample as well, so not only did we go to an external sample provider, but we also looked internally. And really the impact here that we were trying to drive was being cognizant of the fact that we are working with non-traditional stakeholders. So our human resources team had a big input here. We were working with external consultants who were bringing this work together. Not all of those people understood insight in the way that you would normally do, working with like a propositions team who are very much used to dealing with the insights team. So a lot of this was collaborative, making sure that we were, taking them on the journey, that they understood the data that we were planning to deliver for them, and being mindful that the work that we were doing is going to shake things up, and in order to do that, we need to take people on the journey with us. So what did we find out? So first of all, we were trying to identify where is the evolution in needs. What are the breaks in the data? When do you see that jump that will indicate that's the point that you need to draw the line in the sand? So did we see a big evolution? If we did, then what was driving that? What was the determinant of that need? Is it the company size, the number of employees they've got? Is it vertical, or is it something else? We needed to consider public versus private. As I mentioned, public sector is a big part of our business, but what are the considerations that we needed to bring into play when looking at how public and private sector companies are similar, but also how are they different? So where do we see the evolution in needs in how our customers buy? Is that the best determinant of needs there is? How do our customers want to be served as well? So not just when they're buying, but also when we're servicing them. What are the external factors that are driving a shift in that need? Are they being influenced by the way that they buy in the consumer sphere? or are they just replaying back to us what they're currently doing and seeing with the way that we do business in the past? What about digital channels? Are they becoming more important? And then channel strategy, does that match the customer needs? What do they expect to buy from? Do we need to consider selling more locally, or is regional the best way to go? So all of those kind of inputs were what we gathered, and what we delivered for the business was a really simple model that allowed us to show the business the common needs that are there for all businesses, but also what are the needs that we see as increasing performance, and what does that correlate to? We delivered that in a very simple format so that they could build the structure around it. With doing something like this, you've got to expect scrutiny, and we did expect scrutiny from the outset. This is some insight that affects 13,000 people. We were very empathetic to that situation as well. So delivering the insights, when not, you have to accept that not everyone's going to take them on board willingly if such dramatic decisions are made, perhaps about their career. It's fair to say that we had to have some good business partnering behaviors here. Like I said at the start, we wanted to make sure that we were taking people on a journey here. So the insights were clear and they lacked ambiguity. But we did that from the very start. It wasn't just a massive reveal of the data, as I mentioned earlier. And we expected and preempted that scrutiny, and we met it head on. We made sure that we had strong allies throughout the business. So, our CEO was the champion of this and the sponsor of this work, which gave us a good deal of security that what we were going to do was going to be accepted. And that meant running multiple workshops, taking people through the findings, understanding their challenges, and then presenting back to them the data that would make them comfortable with the decisions that we were recommending. And lastly, the impact. So I'm really proud of the impact that this work has had. It's been an amazing project to be part of, because ultimately it's allowed us to structure the BT organization around the customer for the first time since its conception. So first and foremost, it's been great to see that customers have given us the biggest vote of confidence, which is placing more orders with us. So we've seen our order intake grow, and part of that was driven by a major win in the public sector, and that was one of the areas that we paid particular attention to. Next, we've seen continual improvements in our customer experience scores, and 5.5 points on the previous year is considerable, given BT have been on a journey of improving our customer experience scores for some time. The real reason that this has been able to happen is because we've seen a lot of focus on the issues, and there's no ambiguity about who's responsible for improving the customer experience there. So that has been exactly down to the work that we've done. With an organization the size of BT's, when you are more focused, you're able to drive down costs, and we've seen a reduction of costs, significant reduction in costs actually, which our CFO was particularly pleased about, and part of that is down to the restructure that took place. And then lastly, we've continued to drive the impact of this here. So this work didn't just start and finish; it was continued. The results that we learned continued to influence other areas of the business. So a big part of our propositions were aligned to these needs, but equally it allowed us to kick off a refresh of our segmentation, which was the direct result of this work. So overall, really pleased to be involved in this project. And with that, I will ask for any questions.